Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition.
Three. Be smart about web hosting. Most people look at price when determining which website host to go with. But cost is just one element. In reality, you should be looking at the technical aspects driving the price. The cheapest website host isn't always the best. More expensive options tend to justify their price with better response times. Take WP Engine as an example. While we're not in the business of recommending any specific host, it's worth noting that their server response time hovers around 293 milliseconds. The industry average is somewhere in the 600 milliseconds to 1300 milliseconds range. 4. Set up caching or use a caching plugin for WordPress developers. One of the fastest ways to cut into page loading speed and reduce the time it takes for web pages to be served is to install a caching plugin like WP Supercache or WP Total Cache. Another pro of using WP Engine is that they have caching built into their platform. If you aren't using WordPress or you'd prefer not to install another plugin, you can always use something called expires headers to tell the browser whether it should request a file from the web server or grab a version from the browser's cache. This only works when someone has already visited your site, but can be an efficient way of speeding up loading times for return visitors. 5. Choose themes wisely. A theme does more than look good. It also impacts the functionality of your site. So choose your theme wisely. And if you're working with a website designer or developer, your discussions should go beyond colors and layouts. Inform them that speed is one of your top priorities. Ask them to make all design choices with page loading time as a major consideration. 6. Fix all broken links on your website. Broken links are URLs or web pages that no longer function properly. They can show up in a variety of ways, but are typically rendered as 404, not found, errors. Broken links can also show up as 301 moved permanently errors. These links technically redirect to another page, but can increase the time it takes for a user's browser to reach the final destination. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to search for and find broken links. The trickier aspect is knowing what to do with them. They either need to be deleted or fixed. It's not uncommon for large websites to have dozens or even hundreds of broken links. Fixing them can reduce bounce rates and increase the average number of pages per visit. 7. Gzip Compression. If you have unzipped text files, you're making browsers do a lot of unnecessary work to serve your web pages. You can make things easier on them by compressing files prior to the fact. There are numerous ways to compress files, but many swear by Gzip. All you have to do is install a free WordPress plugin W3 Total Cache and run through a few simple steps. Go to the settings page in the W3 Total Cache interface. Click on Browser Cache. Select Enable HTTP Gzip Compression. That's all you have to do. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And according to one study, compression in this manner can reduce load time by as much as 70%. That's not bad for a simple plugin and quick tweak to the settings. 8. Get rid of unused plugins. We've discussed a few techniques that require you to install plugins, but there's actually more value in removing unused plugins. With every plugin you add to your site, you increase the number of requests and the page loading time. More plugins mean more queries, which ultimately means a clunkier website. Not to mention higher security risks. If you have unused plugins on your website, go ahead and delete them, no questions asked. Furthermore, be critical of the plugins you are using. Consider the value that each provides and whether these benefits outweigh the negatives. 9. Use proper placement for CSS and JS. While you can certainly optimize your site in any manner that you please, being intentional with where you put your CSS and JavaScript can have a positive impact on your page loading speeds. Most developers and SEOs consider it a best practice to put your CSS at or near the top of your page. Browsers don't render a page before rendering the CSS file, so this speeds things up. The JavaScript files should then be placed near the bottom. This prevents an issue where the browser prematurely parses after the tag before it's been loaded and completed. 10. Minimize Rtts. The term, round-trip time, or RTT, refers to the amount of time it takes for a client to send a request to the server and for the server to respond. An RTT is impacted by numerous factors, some of which you control and others that are outside of your sphere of influence. However, it's primarily impacted by the requests being sent. One way to reduce your RTTs is to use CSS sprites that call fewer images. You can also combine and/or minify CSS and JS files. These might seem like small details, but they really do make a difference. 11. Streamline your website's design. Sleek, minimalistic websites are popular right now. This is good news for you. You no longer need a ton of features and hundreds of pages to impress visitors. A more focused approach that prioritizes negative space helps build trust with users. The more you streamline your website design, the fewer HTTP requests are sent out. As we've already discussed extensively in this article, this results in faster load times. Partner with dev.co. At dev.co, we understand the importance of website design and functionality. We don't just build gorgeous websites. We develop sites that are sleek, efficient, and fast. This leads to unrivaled digital experiences that drive conversions and cultivate brand loyalty. Want to learn more about how we can help you develop a website that elevates your brand to the top of your industry? Contact us today and we'll be happy to discuss our custom website development process.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.